From Y, Mr. Case is recognized for his opening comments on the bill.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. First of all, I fully endorse my colleagues' remarks on the overall content of this bill, both on the sufficiency of military construction in general and especially on the deficiencies in this bill in taking care of our veterans. All of that I fully agree with. But I'd like to focus my comments here today on my part of the world, the Indo-Pacific. The Indo-Pacific, of course, our priority theater. We say this all the time. We know this. Where our pacing challenge, a generational challenge with the PRC and its allies and partners, is playing out with great risk, great necessity of action. And this is where we should be putting our money from a defense perspective. Now, my friend and respected colleague, the chair of the subcommittee, made a statement in his opening remarks that this bill takes care of the Indo-Pacific. I think that was your words, sir. And with great respect, I have to disagree with that because I do not see the evidence that the Indo-Pacific is in any way, shape, or form prioritized in this particular bill, and I speak on the military construction side of this bill here. How many MILCON projects in the Indo-Pacific are in this bill? How many? One. One project for $50 million in Guam for defense access roads. One MILCON project in this bill. Now, I have no problem with the defense access roads in Guam, but let's consider what is not in this bill from the perspective of military construction. And these are just a couple of examples. Let's stay with Guam for a second. Devastated in May of 2023 by Typhoon Mawar, with billions of dollars of damage to key military installations on Guam, a forward base, the homeland of our country that is critical to our preparations and our national defense with respect to the PRC. There's nothing in this bill to take care of that. We know that the Navy and other services need significant improvements at Naval Base Guam in Upper Harbor on Guam, starting with, just as one example, Polaris Point, a key forward base for our forward positioning of our submarines, both fast attack and ballistic. That needs a military construction component. Let's talk about the Air Force here and what the Air Force refers to as agile combat, which is its plan to mate the challenge of the PRC by dispersing basing, not centralizing it, and by providing for the ability to land in different places and to operate from different places. And as a result, the Air Force is investing, wants to invest, a lot of money in places that most of us have never heard of. Places like Yap, places like Tinian, places like Palau. These are critical to the Air Force's war plan, and yet there's nothing in here for those particular MILCON projects. Let's talk about Wake Island. Out of there in the middle of the Pacific, a critical facility that needs more attention. Wake is literally falling into the ocean, and yet we have not taken care of Wake Island. And then, of course, there's Hawaii. I hope and believe we would all agree that Hawaii has a place to play in all of this at this point, and yet there's no MILCON for Hawaii in this project. My colleague from Maine talked about PSYOP. There's no funding to make sure that our shipyards can continue to serve us in this capacity. There is a CBO report that calls for billions and billions and billions of deferred maintenance and other construction right in Hawaii, including, for example, Kaneohe Bay Marine Base at $1.1 billion, Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam at $1 billion, and I could go on down the list. And then there is the problem of a continued reluctance, a continued closing of their eyes by the Defense Department of anything that smacks of any kind of base resilience, because they don't want to talk about the effects of the weather on our basing, and therefore things get zeroed out that the military knows that we need. And this is simply the wrong way to take a look at this. We are shortchanging this critical strategy in our MilCon, and we've got to correct this before it is literally too late. For these reasons and others, I oppose this bill. Yield back.